Okay. Welcome to the Middleton Planning Board meeting of January 9th, 2025 at 6, I'd say 34. I want to thank you again for all being here. I want to make a few comments, but let's have the Pledge of Allegiance first. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. So I'd like to make a comment on what's happened in the last couple of months concerning the two applications that we're going to be considering tonight, the Hertel subdivision and the Sindorf subdivision. We as a planning board try to do everything correctly. And in this case, we didn't do anything bad or incorrect. We just did a little aggressive notification. For you butters on both of these applications, you got certified butters notices about a hearing. And hearings can be held. A preliminary hearing can be held, but we don't have to, or does the applicant have to officially notify you by certified mail. So you should have gotten another one, another certified abutters notice, and I'll tell you why. The statute says that we can have preliminary hearings and so forth and so on, and we can notice them that they're hearings, but we don't have to notify each individual butter. When we review an application, after the application, we can hold a hearing, an official hearing, after the application the review has been concluded and that we've accepted. So that's kind of where our little faux pas was. So it hasn't changed anything because we've notified you of this meeting, and we can address an application and then have a hearing, and then we can decide whether we're going to deliberate, whether we're going to need more time. Once the application is accepted, the clock starts. So none of these applications have been accepted. We've started to review Mr. Hertel's, and we stopped because there was some incomplete information, which we can do. So what I'm going to do, we're going to begin with Mr. Hertel's subdivision application. I'm going to reconvene the hearing that we had, which was prior to when we started the application, and then close it. Okay, so that's what I just did. I opened it and I just closed it. So now we're not on the clock, but now we're in the correct procedure that we review the application first. As far as board members are up here, we have one alternate. You're not an alternative, you're an alternate. The alternate can sit at the board's dais here. She can participate in the discussions in the hearings, ask questions of applicants, board members, and so forth and so on. She cannot vote on the deliberation, and she cannot participate in the deliberation. Technically, she has to remove herself from the table. That's her. Kate, I looked that up like you wouldn't believe.
Let's move on.
Okay. And that's not a slam against Kate, because she's very helpful. And an alternate is only seated on members not opening. So we have four members here. So if one of us four was missing, then she could sit, deliberate, and vote. And that would be, I would have to introduce her as such. So we'll get all that little stuff out of the way. Okay, the first one we're going to go through now is the application I guess I call it the continuation of the Hertel subdivision. Map 8-11 and 14 on Pinkham Road. So there have been some changes, I guess, updates. We all received, we had a couple things that we requested the applicant to provide. And I have the sheet here someplace.
It's under, yeah, that package.
This packet?
Wait a minute, sorry. It's got the email on top that I.
This one right here. Oh, that's, okay. We'll get there.
It's under the agenda.
Oh, Robin, is there any extras?
It's under the agenda.
It's under the,
Yeah.
I didn't get a,
Is the agenda?
I didn't get a packet.
okay.
I have this and I have this. I have the agenda.
Hold on.
Okay, so,
Oh, that's-
Mr. Hertel.
doesn't have-
Yeah. When we reviewed this last meeting,
Yep.
there were a few items that we requested to be updated and provided for. I think there was a list of them, right? Location of drainage systems and all that kind of
I
stuff.
believe everything has been met that was requested.
Yeah, has everybody received Mr. Hertel's, and you're going to show us a new map too, correct?
I am, but I want to have the application.
Get this back.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
that's the original. Thank you.
So, the location of filtration drainage systems within 200 feet, was that on the drainage report? Or
That was on the plan.
okay, it's on the plan. Existing roads, that's on the plan, and trails. Okay, and you have those new plans, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the plans that I have reflect one small change. You have everything.
Yeah, it's all on there
Yeah,
before. It was on there, we just didn't see it, is that right? Okay. Another one was brief history of the property, which we have a letter dated January 3rd, I believe.
Yep.
Okay, another one was a general description of existing characteristics such as development.
I put it in the same letter.
Same letter.
Yeah.
It's a very small letter, this letter right here.
Yeah, there's not much.
Yeah. Okay, so we received that. Hang on. Okay, yeah, there we go, okay. Summary of drainage upstream on the property discharge down here. That's in the big, that's in the new report.
Yes.
That new report was sent to you as soon as we got it. Okay, and then the last one, I believe, was brief history, and that's included in that letter also. So, as the application, we have done everything but that. So is everybody comfortable with saying that material has been supplied? Okay, so I'm going to say okay on item 19, okay on item 20, or I probably should say received, but I'm just going to keep okay. 31, received. 32, received. 33, received. And 35, received. Okay. All right. So, there's slight changes on the drawings, or on the maps.
Yeah, what you've got is what you saw last time.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a, David Dufresne and I came to an agreement today that is not reflected on those maps.
It is not.
But I will explain, it's a very small change, I will explain to the board what it is. And I have plans that show it, but that's what was given to you, I wanted you to have what was given to you. Because this was just a last minute change with David.
But I don't think they have the old plans with them.
I think, well,
You've got Sindorf.
that in front of us.
Yeah, which is what I gave, but then there was a late change on it.
Is that a property line adjustment?
Yes,
And is it signed off by your survey guy?
yeah, he's done the plan.
Okay, he has the plan.
Yep. I would just like, I was hoping to have a few minutes to explain how, would you like me to do that?
Yes,
This is the one without the change he's talking about
this,
now.
okay, let's put the ones, these are the ones without,
Without the last change.
okay, that's the one without.
Okay,
Okay.
this is my history of my.
This is the one without, out the, right? This is dated, okay, go ahead.
Okay, so,
These are without the change.
when we were here last time,
Yep.
there was some question about Mr. Dufresne's property line.
Mhm.
After a few meetings between he and I, and one last cold meeting yesterday out in the driveway with our surveyor, we realized that we do still feel that the plans that have been recorded throughout the years show the line appropriately, yes. However, it does land right, pretty close to the middle of Mr. Dufresne's driveway as it sits now. So what we've agreed to do is give him an additional 38 feet on that property line in the front, and it will just go back at a slight angle to the original point, leaving him 282 feet on the back line, which is actually
That's what's shown.
7 feet long, bigger than what your TV says. Yep.
So what's this gonna, is this gonna go this way?
Yeah. So this just shifted 38 feet.
Oh, okay, I got it. And this stays the same.
Yep.
Okay, very good.
But I didn't want to confuse things with handing in all, I wanted to give you what you had seen last time.
Well, I think in terms of documents, this is what we're going to be,
Oh, I know that.
use that, so I wanted to know what the difference was.
Yep, it's just a 38-foot change in the front, and it runs back to the original point in the back.
Is
Yeah.
that here,
No, over here.
over here?
So the original, if you see this, is almost perpendicular. See how this goes? It's almost perpendicular to here.
Uh-huh,
So what they've agreed to do is shift this that way.
38 feet.
Right, and it's noted so here on this plan.
I have large copies of that plan, but I didn't want to, the table's pretty.
So the
full,
plan dated 12, this is dated 12/13,
Mhm.
and this one is dated 12/13.
Oh,
Is
He may
there,
not have put the revision on that one, John, just because he and I just came to this.
Okay.
This was just to get you guys something so you
Okay.
could see, because David and I wanted to explain to you guys what had happened.
does everybody
Yeah.
see that?
12/13/2023. They both have the same date.
They have the, he didn't change the date. He changed the map itself, but did update the date.
That's fine.
So in terms of moving forward, there could be, we could say, okay, it can
We'll
be,
add the revision.
add the revision
Yep.
when you get it. And we will not accept it until that revision is received.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have any further discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to know what Mr. Dufresne has to say.
What's that again?
I want to hear from Mr. Dufresne.
Just,
Yeah, like you
Just-
said, we met, and on my deed, Jeff mentioned several times, it says more or less. I have never seen a deed before that said more or less on an actual footage, usually it's just on the acreage. But mine does say more or less on the footage, so when it shows 275 feet on the stone wall, it's not 275 feet on the stone wall, it's more or less on the stone wall. So, and I said, well, look, yeah, we're talking like, 100 feet here. And that's not really more or less, but so we came to the agreement that at least go that far, get it out of my driveway, down into the land, it's kind of useless anyway, it's a swampy area, and yeah, I'm happy with it, and I appreciate you for working with me. I don't have,
You know, it's nice that the two of you could work it out,
yeah.
because I wasn't looking forward to this.
No.
I'm just saying, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
So thanks.
Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you, Jeff. Okay,
I see this plan says 23, that's what you're pointing out, Kate?
Yeah, the corner.
Pointing out the.
Oh, the year.
Yeah,
Year.
yeah, I know, but you gotta fix that.
it actually should be January, right, or actually yesterday, right? If you-
Today, the revision will show today.
Okay. All right, so we don't get confused. All right, has everybody here concluded that the application is complete? What's the matter? What would you like?
He said that there were no snowmobile trails. I don't know what he was looking at. I got a copy of the snowmobile trail, like my snowmobile trail book. And I don't know, maybe the abutters can back me up on that there is a snowmobile trail going through that property. No?
There is an old tote road that runs through it. It starts at the main clearing that is worked out of. It looped into Charles Prisco's property, looped around, and then driven towards Bill.
Thank you. Have we gotten all the letters from the department heads?
No response.
You got a response from the Conservation Commission and they asked for more time.
I think I did not respond that you could have, what would the Conservation Commission like to see or do? More time to do what?
Well, we wanted to know if you could give that extension. We couldn't, we don't meet till next Tuesday.
Did you ask that before? You meet Tuesday. We can, if the application is complete, and you're saying it's not complete, is that what you're saying? Or-
Well, do you need, don't you need all of those letters from, so the fire department didn't require?
We don't need them.
Okay.
We requested them. We got no response, okay? So, if we had no response, then we move forward. Okay? So if you're looking for more time to look at, documents that have been provided here, we can discuss that if once the application is accepted, and after the hearing, or the hearing is concluded, we don't have to vote on the application. The time clock starts, and we can give you an extension, depending on the board's wishes, to review those documents. Okay? That sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Sound reasonable to you?
Yeah. I'm trying to
That's okay.
wrap it all around my head.
So what I'm asking is the application complete in terms of the material that has been provided,
So
The
the,
revision, with the revision to come in for the map.
with the note that the revision drawing of the map will be corrected to the correct date, which is today, correct? Okay.
so I have a question about the snowmobile, having a snowmobile trail or not, I don't want to say what difference does it make, but what difference does it make if they're like a property owner or they own land and there was a snowmobile trail that was there, if it was or wasn't, but if, let's say if it was, if it's that person's property and they want to do something different with it, how could that stop or have any effect?
Stop anything, you can ask, you can request an easement.
Actually, that trail hasn't been used in years.
Yeah.
For snowmobiling or the people walking on it. I mean, there's down trees on it. At one point in time, it probably was used. I know Daryl has posted his.
It's no longer maintained by anyone, but yeah, it does exist. I just wanted to be validated, I wanted to know from the abutters how important it was, how important it was to the abutters.
There's no
And to the
connection
town.
other than through Daryl's property, possibly through, side street that comes after the church. You know, it's off of,
Avon Lane?
Avon Lane, but it's a new trail.
Thank you for, that's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear how important it was and if it used to be.
I worked with a guy when I was working at Continental, him and his uncle were the ones that actually made that trail through there from Darryl. He's related to Darryl, he's also related to his mom lives right on that corner where splits for Governor's Road.
Yeah.
And, he was a fiscal boy at the time, teenager, and he's 45 now, and like,
So he's still young.
Chris was saying, nobody's been there for, I've been there 10 years, and nobody's been.
Oh, I maintain his music.
Machine, no, machine,
Oh,
no machine.
Good to know, thank you.
All right, very good. Then, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the application as submitted with the revision that's coming in.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion, further discussion? Okay. I hear a vote, please.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Application is accepted with the,
Yes, as complete with the revision that's coming in, with the map.
with the map, the date of the map. The map is correct in terms of it, but the date is not.
Correct.
Okay. Now,
Well, the map, is this the map that's correct with the
Yes.
38,
yeah.
the
yeah,
38 feet?
yeah.
Okay.
See this date here? That's not correct. That'll be today's date.
But does it show that it has the 38?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, it moved over.
okay.
Not a lot, but
It moved.
Okay. I hear convene the hearing on the Hertel subdivision on Tinkham Road, map 8 and 11. So the hearing is open. Do I have any questions, comments, and direct your questions to the board, to me, and then we'll, whoever can answer those, Mr. Hertel can answer those questions. I'm sure he will. Any questions? Okay. Wait a minute. You had, yes, sir. Name?
Curiosity, were the two, sorry, Mr. Ryan, 20 Jacob, were the two cellar holes documented on the map?
Were the two what?
Cellar holes that are.
They did find one, they didn't find the second one.
There's
But
one
that
on the
could-
road,
what?
and you should second.
The what hole?
Cellar
Cellar holes?
Yeah.
Cellar
Oh,
holes.
okay, I got it. Cellar, C-E-L-L-A-R,
Hole?
You know,
like a,
like a basement?
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
basement, but yeah.
I've never heard of that.
You've never
Well,
heard of
there's a cellar hole on Governor's Road.
There's a cellar hole up off of John Jones.
I've never been there.
I have a cellar hole. Say, you've never heard of cellar?
I haven't. What is it? I, like,
It's a
what would
form
you
of-
use it for?
It's the remnants of a foundation.
It's the remnants of a home.
Oh, okay. Well, I've never heard it called that.
Yeah, it's a cellar hole.
Is it in the town council?
Okay,
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
all right, any other questions? Kate?
Oh, yeah. So I'm seeing on this large lot here, it's mainly hydric soils. I'd like to see that we have no further subdivision on these lots.
Okay.
126 acres, specifically called out in our zoning ordinance is that we want to see where vernal pools are located. And they didn't locate any. The wetlands report, the wetlands assessment, they commented on everything's operating at their highest levels except for ecological integrity. And because of the forestry, it's been degraded, it's not a principal function anymore. So,
Kate, can I go back and ask a question about saying further subdivided? Because of the lot sizes, they wouldn't be able to be further subdivided.
I would like that as a deed restriction.
Oh, you mean if the town were to reduce and say go down to a two acre minimum, because right now we're on a 5 acre, so none of these would be able to be split. But you're just saying, so have it put in.
Well, I mean, because he hasn't provided any, information on vernal pools.
No, my question, my
It's a
question,
quid pro quo.
it's just, so if for some reason the town went down, when a couple of years said they went down to a 2 acre minimum.
Right.
Okay, that's.
I mean, if it did that or anything, just to have
Okay.
that extra protection for the town, so we're not reviewing these properties again, and that it's complete now.
Is that something,
That's no problem.
okay,
They can't give us that.
The vernal pools, was that not in that report? No? in the watershed report?
To my understanding, everything that needed to be there was there. If it, I don't know who read it in full, and if they can review it, I'll be happy to add what we
Like,
need to
I would
add.
like to see that information, however, I'm not gonna, if he's willing to put no further subdivision, I won't push the point, it's a quid pro quo thing.
I mean, and I'm good with that case myself.
I agree that they shouldn't be re-subdivided.
So if we can put that restriction
fine.
in the deed.
Yeah.
Would that
just
be-
happy with
Well,
that.
it'll be a deed restriction, that's fine.
Yeah, perfect. Yep.
Okay,
And then,
so that would be, that would be another conditional
Yeah.
acceptance?
And it'll be a note that will have to be added to the plan.
Correct,
Yeah.
okay.
and then, I'm not saying, unfortunately, we got no response from the fire department, and I'm really disappointed because a fire pond or a dry hydrant over in that area, with all of those lots and all of those houses, because they can't go down Pinkham to fill up their pump truck, apparently, they gotta go all the way down to the beach. So,
Or they'd have to go down too.
I don't think there's any way, I mean,
There's the pump.
what does Mr. Hertel think about the addition of a fire pond or dry hydrant over on that road?
I don't feel it's necessary. I would have had one designed if I thought it was necessary. I don't feel that having 6 lots there, that are more than adequate acreage, that keep with the rural character of the town, requires that. And we're putting no further subdivision on these lots. There's gonna be 6 houses max in there.
And I guess it's unfortunate.
But that's up to the board.
But I mean, it's unfortunate, I agree with you, Kate, that we didn't get any response back, but I would have thought if it was a concern, we
They
would
would
have.
have.
Well, I'm thinking that it's a change in personnel. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
Impact fees?
I'm sorry?
Those would be on the people who are
Who build.
purchasing the property and to develop it.
If none, are we supposed to keep the hearing open for a certain amount of time?
No, you don't have to.
I don't think so. If there are no questions on the Hertel application subdivision on Pinkham Road.
Oh, there's,
Oh, there is a question? Yes, ma'am.
Well, just a quick question about what you were just saying about the impact fees being on the people who buy it. Wouldn't that only be if it's actually in the deed itself? For instance, you go buy a 5-acre piece of land to build a greenhouse on, not knowing that you have these potential impact fees.
You're-
they're a part of the building permit or
Right, they're
building.
part of the development of the property, meaning, you know, like if you're gonna build on it.
Right, so you
It has the-
why would they buy the property?
Impact fees.
Well, they would have to research.
Each-
They would have to I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
They would basically have to do their research of what it takes to build a house. I mean, if you go down to Dover has some pretty hefty impact fees. And
Only,
if,
only when you build.
yeah, when you build, so when you go to
Right.
build your house and you go to get your permits, it's a part of the permit application.
So my concern at the last meeting was regarding, I don't know if impact fee is the same thing as what I had brought up, was for instance, that road, not in the greatest shape, had lots and lots of maintenance done to it, some very recently with all the culverts and things like that. It's posted as low weight bearing, you know, villager and things like that. So, and this doesn't necessarily have to do with the hotel stuff, but I think it might have to do with Miss L. If they destroy the road, because I had looked up and researched that, if the developers destroy the road, because they're carrying X amount of pounds of material over the road, that should help them to fix, but if it's not written down anywhere, then we can't spring that on the person who thought living in the building. We can't suddenly say, oh, by the way, if you trash the road, you have to fix it. That doesn't have to be something that's decided ahead of time.
Well, when they,
Can I comment on it?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's two separate things.
It is.
We were granted, the town selectmen signed the intent to cut for us to timber the property. I'm assuming that's the weight bearing that you're talking about. So the responsibility then falls on the lumber company and on the town for that aspect of it. As for the impact fees, that's based on what you're building. So that has nothing to do with us. So if the town signs, for instance, an intent to cut for us to cut the property, and we're hauling our trucks over, or the lumber company's hauling their trucks over that. And, you know, that's between the town and the timbering company. That's not on us.
So how would that work for?
I
for home
believe,
builds?
what's that?
So how would that work for home builds?
It,
Again, I know this
it
is-
has nothing to do with the home being those two separate entities. If somebody comes in, if I came in to pull a building permit to build a house, the town's gonna say, okay, based on what you're building, your impact fees are this much. I don't know if Middleton.
We do not
does it
have-
by
no.
square foot or how they do it, but.
Right. So
We
that-
have a
that
new,
makes- that's my
work,
question
I
then.
don't know
If
what,
we have
I'm
all
trying to
this-
figure out where it is in here.
John's looking.
I'm looking.
Let's see if I can help you. It's the best, one of the really good examples of like an impact fee thing is if you look up Dover's and it explains of like, if you're building, you know, a single family home and it's this many square feet, it's this much per, you know, I don't know if it's like square foot or bedrooms or whatever. If it's a business, it's a different impact fee, and then it has a breakdown of like where each fee goes to. So if it's like homes or housing, it's, you know, so much goes to the school, so much goes to like fire and EMS, and like, they have a recreation department.
My main concern was the road, though. Like,
Oh.
when discussing this, when discussing the 6 to 8 homes that are gonna be going in, if, and I understand that they'll probably potentially be purchased by different people, different companies building. My point is, if the road gets destroyed, is that cost being pushed off on the taxpayers? Or is that cost gonna be borne by
Property.
the company's builder?
Yeah, company building, property.
Is that
So it's whoever
written in our
damages it.
town code, or are we just gonna throw that out?
Master plan.
I don't know.
Like Derry has it very well documented, but I'm guessing, because we haven't had a lot of development to this point, really. So I'm guessing that's not something that we've really developed per se.
I don't know if
So
that's
my
ever really
concern is
come
just
up,
if that road
happened,
gets
has it?
destroyed, which
Well,
potentially could,
the-
who's paying for that?
Here's the impact fee.
What's that?
Fee assessment on development,
Right, and we just had to.
for the construction or improvement of capital, let's see, including subdivision, building construction, and other land use changes
Yeah.
to help meet the needs of, okay, so that's the impact fee, that's the definition. Not including but not limited to stormwater, flood control, rights of way, town official, town office, facilities, public schools, da, 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 da. The applicant of the issuance of the verdict shall create, that creates new development. Capital facilities, facilities associated with structures. Okay, the impact fee is Article 45. That was approved last year. The definition of an impact fee reads as such. Impact fee, a fee or assessment imposed by the town of Middleton upon development, including subdivision, building construction, or other land use change to help meet the needs of the needs occasioned by the development of construction or improvement of capital facilities owned by the town of Middleton District, including but not limited to stormwater, drainage, and flood control facilities, public road systems and rights-of-way, town office facilities, public schools, public safety facilities. In other words, it's defining where the impact fees are to be applied. I can tell you when we went through this, developing a list of what the fee should be is, for us, and we felt it was an administrative nightmare. And we developed this impact fee ordinance to not be specific for everything. It's on a case-by-case basis.
So using, like, again, I want this one thing, I don't need to be, I don't need to go off into everything, I'm literally just looking at this one issue. 8 homes being developed, lots and lots of materials, big machinery. The road is already in rough shape. If the road gets destroyed, how are we handling this? That's my question. Who's paying for this? Is there a way to offload that to them? Because even though this is road systems, like this is making the development of further road systems for the higher development, the more people. Road damage caused by the development, how are we handling this? That to me, again, I'm sorry, Jeff, this probably has nothing to do with you, but I feel like that's something we need to determine now. Because if someone buys that property, the road gets destroyed, we can't then go to them saying, oh, wait, you destroyed our road, it's too late. Like, I feel like we need to know.
Talk to Dan about this,
What
and
is
that
the
we can
process?
go and hold them.
What is the process to report damage to a road? If they find resident taxpayer notices a problem with the road, who do they talk to? In town.
Then we go to the road agent.
Well,
So their DPW would have that, or, not selectmen, but
I mean, we can follow up, but, with our road agent, it's such as, should we encounter this, then we can go after, I would think that we can go after, and we can confirm this, go after the,
yeah. If, I can give you an example,
Okay.
and this happened to me a long time ago. A new home was being built across from my home where I live on Shore, I have to remember where I live, on Shore Drive. The contractor, had to put fill in the property after the building was constructed. It was during this time of year, frost heaves, and there were restrictions. Can't drive on the road if you're over something. So this particular contractor that built the home on the property damaged the road. It was reported. I reported it. And the town road agent went to the contractor. Here's the damage, and he had to pay to fix the damage.
Now, that was one incident brought down to one contractor. We have 8 homes being built.
That would be each, okay, that would be the determination of the road agent as to the damage done for each property. This is not a development. It is a subdivision of just single properties on a road, okay? I agree that you can have heavy equipment going on there, but you do all the time. You have fuel trucks, propane trucks, septic trucks, lumber delivery trucks for people who already exist there.
But we don't mind paying the taxes for repair of the damage.
I get
for our
that.
services.
I understand that. But if there's damage, if you're concerned about damage to the road and it's damaged, then the town has the right to seek damages. If the road agent, now when you put a driveway in, the road agent can require a bond, I believe, for damage. And the driveway has to meet certain specs. You have to be a certain size culvert, the aprons they have to be so wide and so forth. If they are not, matter of fact, if dirt is spilled on a town road, that's, whoever, if they catch them, they can be fined. Same thing with snow. Can't plow snow across a road. So that's the responsibility of the road agent to maintain the road. So in that particular case, on a road down Pinkham and so forth and so on, that would be his call. Now, he had the right on the logging to secure a bond from the logger for the roads. Now, a lot of that logging was done in the wintertime, which mostly is done because it's easier to get in and out of the forest, the harvest. Roads, except February, March, are difficult. So the road agent would monitor that. If he felt that truck traffic of log roads and so forth was going to damage his roads, our roads, he would have said, okay, I want a bond.
Okay, so we have a road agent, and they are willing and able and going
Yep.
to monitor our
Correct.
road for damage?
Correct.
Okay, that's.
And he does.
And he does.
Our road, I will say this, our road agent does monitor our roads, and he drives around regularly. He lives in the next development over from me, and I see him swinging through and driving around my neighborhood
Okay.
all the time. And they're out on the roads
They're on the road.
more than anybody.
Every day. And they actually, on Mondays, they do a sweep. It may be the one road agent taking one section, somebody, and they go through the whole town. And if they see something, they will note it and do whatever they have to do. So I am, personally, I'm confident
How are
that,
we gonna know who did what? How are you gonna pin one down and say, I guess that's my problem. I feel like there should be a bond for each and every one of these properties. There should be a requirement for each one of these lots that this is a thing. You will have a bond, for instance, for damage. Because how are you gonna say there's dirt dumped all over the road? Yeah, but there's 7 other houses being built.
well, there should be communication between the code enforcement when he issues a building permit. What kind of equipment is going to go in there? You're gonna bring in a big crane? I mean, when you log, sometimes, particularly in an existing residential area like we have, and like you have, you may have to bring in a crane. Those things are big.
Right, but you're talking one company, one known. If his crane had come through, for instance, crushed the culvert, there's no question. That's.
But that's that individual property owner's situation. So yes, you could have 8 different scenarios on these lots.
I have a question. So impact fees, the fee or assessment imposed by the town of Middleton upon development, including subdivision.
Yeah? Mhm.
And part of that is they go through a list, and forgive me, but not limited to, including, but not limited to public road systems. The fee payer is the applicant for the issuance of a building permit that creates new development.
There you go. This subdivision is not,
That's the impact, that is the impact ordinance that we have in place. And I know that the calculations are elsewhere, and I'm not familiar.
we don't,
Unfortunately, we did not get a letter of any recommendations or from the road agent, and that's very disappointing, because we would not have wanted to hear what he foresaw as an impact to that road.
I just,
No,
I
appreciate your question.
those are good questions.
Absolutely not.
but I also think-
We shouldn't have to pay those costs as a town. They should be put on the people that are either making the money off the sale of these lands or causing the problems.
And I think the other thing we have to also remember is that these are gonna be individual lots that are gonna be sold individually. The likelihood of one person coming in and buying all of them and building simultaneously is gonna be pretty slim, especially with the way the costs of building and everything are. So I would dare say that it would probably be like on New Durham, where it's like one house was built, now there's another house being built. So if damage was done, you'd more than likely see it and be able to like pinpoint like, hey, you know, that road wasn't crushed in yesterday and now you're here and it's caved in. So I wouldn't be as concerned if it was, you know, a whole development going in, like, what is it, Adams Way?
Adams Way.
At least then you have one, and you wouldn't have to prove anybody.
Right.
You know it's not one.
And we can reach out to the road agent and make him aware of that. There's gonna be 8 houses going in here, and so we want you to monitor
I
this
think the road agent,
He does.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's-
no, he
We're
does.
small enough that it's obvious. It's always good to have a reminder.
And why would he know? 'Cause he goes down there
All the time.
every week.
Yeah.
He also put requirements on where the power poles are placed. A couple of them were misplaced. So they had to come back and fix them.
I guess my whole issue is not recognizing that damage has been done. We're all gonna know.
It's gonna
damage
get,
has been done.
it will get, I will tell you this, even though you don't see Dan at a lot of meetings, or I think you might see him, you know, once a month at the selectmen meeting, he knows what's going on, because there's been times where I've picked up the phone and he's like, oh, are you talking about the damage done? Because at the end of my road, it washes out. If there's super heavy rain, it like, damage gets done. And I pick up the phone and he sees me and he's just like, oh, we'll be down there later on today. I already drove by and took a look.
So that's not my concern, it's not, I love our
Yeah.
roads, our roads are amazing, like our roads are the best around, but as far as plowing and all
Yeah.
that. My concern is, I know we're all gonna recognize damage is done, that's not my concern as much as, do we have something in place to fix it?
We do.
We'll just pay for it.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be the town.
There's-
Okay,
Oh,
yes.
just your name?
Lorraine, 146 Short, also owner of lot abutting this property. Just clarification, it sounds like the town put in regulations.
Excuse me,
David?
I can't hear. Go ahead.
Sounds like the town put in regulations to have impact fees, but we don't currently assess them, is that correct?
What is that again? What-
So it sounds like we created impact fees in the regulations, but we don't currently assess them, is that correct?
Right. Now, how you assess impact fees, the way we have it set up right now, depends on the situation. We do not list, if you build an addition to your house, an addition to your house, it's so many dollars per square foot. If you add another room, you add a garage, you put a second story up, whatever that may be, if it changes the use of the structure, we have the right on the building permit to go in there and say, these are the impact fees. What can happen though is a lot of towns have planning departments that have as many people as sitting here in a planning department. The planning department is there and here. And full-time, 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 part-time, part-time, and down there in the end,
Barely anything.
part-time.
Right.
Okay, so, the impact fees are not listed for specific uses or changes, because the administrative process to keep track of those is monumental, and we don't have the staff to do it. So we left it kind of open-ended, that we have them. They are also in our development regs, or our site regs, if you call them, that specifically says that under a development, this is not, I don't consider this.
Subdivision, it's the wording is subdivision, the impact fee ordinance.
And.
And.
Thank you. So, in our development regs, there is a rule in there, and it is here too, that if an impact fee has to be developed for a particular change of use or whatever, the town has the ability to charge the property owner the construction and development of those fees. So there's no fee per se set up for anything right now. It just says we can go in, and if we deemed it necessary, or the building code enforcement says, well, I think, this is going to impact, then they can call for an impact fee under the provisions of the ordinance, and I don't know specifically how that goes about, but there are statutes in terms of accounting procedures. It's quite and what happens is, I don't think we'll see that here, but there are towns in New Hampshire a lot larger than ours down south, the Dovers and the Pelhams, and they are so messed up. Now, why do I know this? Because we had, when we put this ordinance in, we had a consultant come in and talk about impact fees. He does most of the impact fees in New Hampshire. In other words, he writes and calculates them. That's $25,000, $30,000 just to do that ordinance. So you have to keep track of, okay, I get an impact fee from you because you're going to put up a shed back there. And that's going to impact the fire trucks coming in there because you're adding another structure. I'm being hypothetical here. I don't like hypothetical, but okay. So that is calculated, and then we have to keep track of that. So the impact fees are kept for a certain amount of time, and if nothing happens, then under certain circumstances, we have to give those fees back. So one or two properties isn't going to make much difference. But you got communities like Derry and Manchester and all that kind of stuff. They probably have thousands. So how do you keep track of that? I mean, you got to have a staff just to keep track of it. And towns are being sued.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So we have an impact fee ordinance.
What's that?
We have an impact fee ordinance.
Yes, we do.
And all impact fees imposed shall be assessed at the time the planning board approves the subdivision site plan. So we are not, because we have not heard from the road agent, we're not going to be assessing any impact fees on the road. And we
Or
are not going
potential
to be
impact.
assessing any impact fees on our school. For the hypothetical, say 16 kids that could be added.
Can I just make a correction? It's 6 lots, not 8.
Thank you. 12 kids.
Okay. Any other?
These could be anyone, they could be all homeschool kids, they could have no kids. We could have 5 years from now, there's no kids, and 10 years we can. That's trouble, the school was,
That's where the impact fee would be returned.
right, but we don't know who's buying this, we don't know when they're developing it. They might sit there for 5 years, waiting for costs to go down. We don't know, that's the trouble, we just don't know. I wish we did, that would be a lot easier than to be able to put the exact impact fees on, oh, the road damage is next February. Got it.
I think what we have in place is good for our town because it's a catch of if we need it. You know, if we were already like Rochester, in Rochester, I was just reading some of their planning board meeting minutes. There's, they're having, I think, like 2 hearings where there's potentially like another almost 300 housing going in, between like 2 places. Like, a town like that would probably definitely need to look into an impact fee and have it in place to get that money, because more than likely, they're gonna have to increase their fire, increase their EMS, like, within the next year or 2, versus us, 6 or 8 houses.
My comment would be 6 or 8 houses are the same impact as 300 in a town of 30,000.
If you've got a ratio, you've got to.
Oh, yeah,
Homes for Rochester is probably 60 homes for us.
Yeah, potentially, but the way that they're building and the way that they're having it, I think they're,
How many major subdivisions have we had in this town in the last 3 years?
But I guess my point is, okay, is this doesn't just apply to what's on pink, I mean, it applies to any house that's being built in town, whether it comes from a subdivision or if it's a single lot.
yeah. And then if you look at Dover's impact fee schedule, if you were to go ahead and put in an in-law apartment, you would have to pay the impact fee for that. But how it works is all of that money would have to get, however it affects.
All I'm asking is, so we're not going, I got no vote, I just got a voice. We're not putting impact fees on the road, because we didn't hear from the road agent saying that he assesses that Bruce Road's gonna need this amount of work in this amount of time. And we're not gonna be putting impact fees on any potential students coming in from these 6 houses. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm saying.
I feel that imposing impact fees on the subdivision is something that the impact fee should be imposed on the individual property owner in this case. That's the way I feel.
So
If
when,
we start imposing impact fees on every piece of property, I think that's a little unreasonable.
so I guess what I would say is this, is if it says that it's according to, how did you say it was written, Kate?
Creation of a new dwelling unit or units in the,
So that would be somebody who's building, which we're not talking about.
or assessed at the time of, let me put my glasses on now.
We could, yeah.
I could do that. I lost my place where it was talking about when it's assessed, it shall be assessed at the time of the approval of a subdivision, site plan or change of use as per the planning board approved schedule of fees. So that's why I'm saying, it looks like we're not gonna be doing impact fees.
And that was my whole point, if we don't do it now, it's not,
Dave?
we can't do it.
We just went through all this 2 years ago. We did a new master plan, we came up with impact fees, and basically we did it because of this.
There was no impact fees when the master plan was done.
We weren't-
It was not, no, that's why we worked on that ordinance, what was it, last year?
Yeah, last year it was 2024, it was put in place.
Well,
The master plan was done in 2022, so, there you go.
Okay, tell you what,
We'll leave it open until.
yeah,
So we can get to this next one.
There's more questions, John.
yes.
On the subject of the fees, since we put the fee ordinance or the fee thing in place, how have we used it?
How can you what?
Have we used it since we put it in place?
Anything that's happened in town since we put it in place? Have we had new dwellings come in, that people want to build a home or anything like that?
Oh, we've had homes that been built since the impact fee has been there.
So we put it in, but we're not really using it or assessing fees for education.
A lot of homes, not all of them, there are there was a subdivision over here on Durham Road, and there are some new homes that have been built in there since. But I believe that subdivision did not call for impact fees, and that subdivision was approved prior to when the ordinance, I believe, I'm not sure. Well, what the board can do in this case here is the application has been accepted. We now have a clock ticking. We have 65 days to make a decision. Okay? Conservation Commission, which Kate down there in the end is vice chair, has requested more time to look at what, Kate?
We needed to have the Conservation Commission meet and see if they wanted to respond to the wetlands assessment.
When do you meet?
Next Tuesday.
No, when did you meet in December? Do you know the date?
We met the Tuesday before the planning, it was just an odd calendar.
Okay.
We meet the second Tuesday and then you met.
All right.
And-
Now, we also can, in this particular situation, we can have a workshop to figure this out on this particular, for the 65 days. So, is the board willing to hold off on the decision until we do a little more research on this?
So I have a
How
question.
much longer? I mean, I don't mind meeting, I do have a spare time in all the other meetings.
I don't
come
either.
to, but
We're signed up for this, so.
I did,
Yep.
I did sign up for this.
Yep.
And
So I guess I have a question. So if we made a decision tonight and then we said that there has to be impact fees on these 6 lots, how does that affect anything versus like if we don't and we leave it for we can always enforce the impact fees with whoever buys each individual lot, could we not?
Yeah, not on the developer, on each individual lot.
Because.
Not on the property owner. I don't want to call him a developer, on the property owner. Impact fees may be assessed for new development to compensate new development.
Because they
Capital
don't build houses,
cost-
they.
Okay, planning board may, as a condition of approval of any subdivision, when consistent, require the applicant to pay an impact fee for the applicant's portion share of the public facilities affected by the development. That's the authority. So,
So I guess what I'm asking is so Jeff will potentially have 6 lots if it's approved. So what would he do? Because I'm assuming you're gonna just put a for sale sign on the 6 lots.
that's all he's doing.
And selling those lots. So does he have to then, if we impose this, does he have to then put it in,
Price of the property.
okay, but he's not. I just guess I don't understand it from like, for a situation for someone that is gonna be like selling these lots versus someone that's coming forward with an application to say like, hey, I'm gonna build a 5-bedroom house that's gonna be 3,000 square feet and pretty expensive in construction,
It's
but
just at the time of when you're choosing to
build.
apply the impact fees.
I feel like it's my, I can't imagine if I bought 5 acres to build my dream 5-bedroom home and only finding out as I submit my application that there's gonna be, oh, by the way, a
Well,
farmhouse no bond, or whatever, I
yeah.
don't know how all that works, but it seems to me like it should be just right in the deed. You wanna buy this night, cool, FYI, this is the deal. You know, this shouldn't be sprung on people as.
Well,
they're
it's,
building
I mean, it,
But that would relate to any property that's, whether it's on Pinkham or whether it's on Ridge Road or whether it's on New Portsmouth.
Yeah.
It would be on any town road, not a state road like 153. But I'm just saying that, I understand we're talking about this particular, because this is what the hearing
What's in
is
front of
about.
us.
But it would be any property, if they were building a property, a house down on the lake, somewhere down, they would, it doesn't,
I feel it applies more to.
yes, it's not unique
dead
to
end road.
Pinkham.
I feel like it does apply more to Pinkham just because it's a dead end road, not built for heavy traffic. Where, I'm not saying damage to any other road, it doesn't matter, I am not saying that. But any of these little side roads, a house being built to the shore, can cause damage. 6 houses being built on a small, dead end, lightly traveled road, there is a much more high likelihood. So I'm not saying, oh, poo-poo on any damage anywhere else in town. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it's almost a given. The road's going to be destroyed by the time, whether it's 1 year or 2 years. The road's probably going to be destroyed by the time these 6 houses are built. I just stated, shouldn't we go ahead and firm up that there will be an impact fee on these 6 lots? That's all I'm saying.
So
Well,
guess-
I think there
guess-
would be a bond
Right,
from
yes, you could,
Dan.
yeah, you can, apply that, but again, I guess my point would be is, how do you pick and choose what roads?
This way.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, so
Yeah.
if I'm gonna buy land that's on, New Portsmouth Road, because I'm not gonna have to pay any impact fees, because they're gonna impose them. I would think in someone who buys property, and if we imposed impact fees, then they'd say, well, now you're being,
You're
you know,
picking
you're
and choosing.
discriminating against me because of what, we would have to check on, see that, like, can you pick and choose?
I would
Because
imagine it'd be based on the damage, the potential damage. That's what we're talking about, potential damage.
So,
The
but in one
potential
house
damage
is
of
the same-
6 homes on Pickham Road is much more than the potential damage of 1 home on Silver Street.
But you gotta remember, it's not one person building 6 homes, it's 6 individual people.
Oh, I know.
Because
That's why
just like in my neighborhood, I'm in the lake area where our roads are really narrow, they're all dirt. And I mean, just driving up and down to and from my house every day potentially causes some damage. I mean, there's been 3, 4 houses built on it over the past couple of years. There's another house that was completely leveled and a new one's gonna be built.
Impact fees would make perfect sense in the lakes.
may I make
Those would make perfect sense, because those are small, lightly traveled roads with potential for high damage. I would absolutely agree to
that
say,
wasn't-
okay, town.
impact fees were not intended, from my understanding,
For that reason.
for that reason. The impact fees were for the person subdividing, making the money off of selling, creating and selling these
no.
lots, and impacting the schools, the roads, fire department, the police department. We reached out to all of those departments, none responded. So we don't have anything to go on. We can't say that, oh, the fire department needs a dry hydrant here. They're not responding, so apparently they don't need it. The road agent didn't respond, well, yeah, I'm gonna have to have this much, we're gonna have to, that much traffic, we're gonna have to put this much, and this road's not gonna be able to take it. We don't have that back.
Well, the impact fees are really to help offset the growth of our infrastructure in town. So it's like you gotta figure for every person, like you said, like one of you guys said, 6 houses would probably be like equivalent to 200 houses in Rochester. I don't know, like how,
It's not true, but of course.
well,
I was just math.
but I get what you're saying, like, a much smaller amount impacts our town versus like a bigger city. What it's supposed to do is offset the cost of having to grow our fire and EMS because, well, let's say, more people are moving in and building. It's like, okay, well, now that we have, instead of 2,000 people, we have 2,500 people. Well, now we need more EMS. Well, where are you going to find the money for that? So do everybody in this room that's been here for however many years now have to pay even more? Or the people that are coming in kind of causing the need to go up, offset it? And that's what the impact fees are to use to offset, but what you have to remember is I think it's 5 years, the guy said to us. So what happens is like, if you look at, Dover is like the perfect example, I like write like a bunch of them. But Dover gives a great example, and it will say like, a 4-bedroom house might have to pay like $1,000 towards education, and might have to pay like $300 for fire and EMS, or, whatever. We have to hire an accountant, or we have to have a person that does bookkeeping just for that money. And they have to keep track of the person who paid the impact fee, how much for each thing, and then how long. And after 5 years, if we haven't done anything with that money, we have to do all of the accounting and make sure all of that goes back appropriately, because if it doesn't, we're leaving ourselves in a bigger mess. So it's how we were told by the person that came in and consulted to us is, for us, it doesn't make sense to necessarily do something like that because of the amount of money that it would take to develop that ordinance, like you said, 25, 30,000, and then the amount of money that we would have to pay somebody to do that bookkeeping.
We have an impact ordinance
but the way,
So you're not, or
So-
what are we getting at here?
So I guess the-
Applying impact fees or not?
we are, but I think the way that people are thinking it's going to be, or the way it should be, is different from how we have it. So I guess now it's a matter of figuring out how and when we place it. And I mean, if that's gonna be a discussion for now or later, I don't know, but it's,
I just want to throw this number out there. For example, representative cost in 2014 for reconstructing a street in a small urban area would set you back by $1.5 million per mile. Just throwing that out there. That was 2014 prices.
Yeah, and cost of asphalt continues to go up. And our department does a great job, but they only can do so much with the money
Absolutely.
they ask for, they haven't raised in many years, and they do their best.
Okay.
But that's why
So-
residents know how much the cost of these roads are.
So an impact fee on a subdivision that has no structure, no infrastructure, no nothing, how do you determine the impact of that blank lot that is up for sale, which doesn't mean it's sold, could be sold tomorrow, house could be put up next week. How would you go through that, determine that amount for that particular, let's say, 6 lots, that nothing is done to it other than it has been divided and offered for sale?
An oversimplified answer to that, and this, again, is very oversimplified, I'm not this number profession, would be the bond or something to that effect stating, when you submit your building proposal, there will be a, throw numbers out, $5,000 impact fee for road damage, which will be returned after
I think
completion
that's
of your home, if no damage is done.
But that's when the
or
person goes to
bonds that
build.
you must
That's
have
not
with
now.
the construction company. Like, it seems very simple to me, but maybe.
that goes to when the person's going to build.
It says I would, if,
And what if what if somebody comes in and says, I want the whole 126 acres of my building, my dream home on the whole 126?
you could sell it, right?
I'll sell it. But that doesn't mean that I should be assessed for impact fees that are unknown.
Yeah.
Right, because you don't know somebody may buy that and turn it over to conservation.
Maybe they will.
So then those impact fees would,
You had to put that.
those impact fees then would have to be returned. So how do you determine that? And how is that fair to an applicant to figure that out? And how complicated is that?
I think it's more fair than them showing up with a building permit and slapping somebody.
Well,
But that's how it
no
happens.
different.
But impact fees, that's how it happens. When you go and apply for your building permit, they look at what you're requesting to build, and that's how they determine your impact fees.
I'm confused then. I thought in what you were reading, it states that it needs to be determined at the time of the approval of the subdivision.
We may.
Or,
May, it says may. Now, he is subdividing the property, he's not developing the property, right? That's.
Yeah.
So if I subdivide my property, someone else built, I don't have anything to subdivide. I can't stand on the good side, subdivide the property.
where there's land.
Neighbors.
I live in the Utopia district, but the point is, anyone subdivides, that's nothing developed. Now, if you subdivide and develop, now you're talking impact fees. We can't hurt people for subdividing or harvesting their forest.
Yeah.
I think that the intent of impact fees was to have the developer, subdivider that's making the money off of the land, pay the cost of work on the road and what happens to the school infrastructure, fire and all of that.
But that will happen with the person building, because, okay, he goes and,
I'm not gonna argue the point,
Yeah.
I don't, I think
It's just a
talk
different-
about it, I
it's a
think we
different
all
of
understand, it's just.
It's a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
It's what it is. We're never gonna get to the,
Well,
I know.
we're gonna have to.
right.
Okay.
I'm done. I've said everything.
So the application has been accepted.
Yeah.
How long does he have?
We have 65 days.
65 days.
So,
John, can I say something?
yes, you may.
What I would recommend is recessing this to the next meeting. I'll have the plans revised with the dates and whatnot, and that gives the Conservation Commission time to review, I think.
Well, our next meeting is,
February,
Meeting next week.
yes,
yeah,
we have, sorry,
hearing.
we have to do the amendment.
Don't you
So
like
we
that
have
process?
time to do that, Jeff, and
Is that okay?
that is okay with me, because that would give the conservation time to review to the February 13th.
February 13th?
Yes, and if we need further clarification on this situation, we can,
Yeah, if the Conservation Commission is meeting on Tuesday and is going to review it, as much, anything they can do, so what you guys might want to see different.
Yeah.
And if the planning board reviews that, the Conservation Commission reviews that, and you find that you need more, please let me know, so I can get my guy on it.
okay?
Yeah.
And you'll bring chocolates February 13th, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Arts.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so where we stand on this
I was
is,
just gonna say,
where we stand on this is the application has been accepted with a condition that the drawing will be updated, and that's the way we are right now. And now, we are not going to make a decision on the application, however, we are going to give time for the Conservation Commission to review the what did you want to review again?
The wetlands assessment, it's been done, I can't respond for the conservation.
Okay.
I talked to legal and they said I couldn't do it.
Okay, so we'll give them until February 13th. That's well within the 65 days. I will note that if we can't come to a decision in 65 days, we can agree on an extension. If we need further understanding, review, whatever. So, that's that.
If they want ample time, we were always accepting that.
So, the hearing on, is concluded, all right? And the decision of the board is as what I said previously, that we
So-
will meet
13.
at a regular meeting on the 13th,
Yeah.
and that will give time for the Conservation Commission to do their review, so forth. And if the Conservation meets, you can get a hold of Kate, time, place, everything.
I will get a hold of you.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, no, please
yeah, I
do.
will let you.
Let me know. 'Cause-
If you don't hear from me, then,
Okay, fair enough,
Or you
Kate.
can
Thank
get a
you.
hold of Robin and Robin will get a hold of you.
or Rob.
Put it
I
to
can
work.
get a hold
Put it
of
to
Rob
work.
quicker.
Okay.
He shouldn't have to chase me because I don't answer my phone.
What? You're one of them?
I'm one of those.
Okay, we move on. I'm sorry.
And then Robin was one.
Was there something we said?
No. All right, next on the agenda is the Sindorf subdivision plan, map 16, lot 9, Kings Highway. And we have, we have a meeting a hearing in place, so I hereby reconvene that hearing, which essentially was a preliminary hearing, even though we notified you officially, we overdid it. So we resent at our expense, you didn't pay for that. Wasn't that nice of us?
I didn't expect that. I thought it was.
No, we did, that was our error.
So
And-
did you note that we're reopening that hearing at 7:48?
Yeah, 7:48, we're reopening that hearing, and then we're hereby closing it at 7:49. All right. So now we will address the Sindorf application, and that's here somewhere. Oh, right here, thank you.
I didn't-
Okay,
Do you have an extra
there is
copy of
there
that
is a,
one? Do you have an extra copy of that one?
what's that?
The Sindorf one? This
That's
is
my
yours.
stuff, that's my
It's your
stuff.
stuff.
It's in this packet.
I didn't get that copy.
Norway,
And tonight.
I'm lost with the packet.
Yeah.
I got it.
I didn't get a whole copy.
Just give her my pen. Don't quite find me taking mine.
I like,
What's on with you, John?
I scrolled
Yeah,
through my email.
you can show me what your stuff is. Okay.
Sharon's carrying that. I'll give it back to you.
No,
Okay.
no, you can just keep it.
Are you
Don't
sure?
give it back to Robin so she has her original. And
Okay, as we did in the past, how we do correctly now, is we go through the application to ensure that everything is correct. And Will, I guess you're a representative or in terms of what's going on here with the application, the drawings and all that other kind of stuff. So do you want to give up and show us what is current?
Sure.
And your letter, you have 3 letters, right? 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
And just tell us, basically, when you get through with that,
So.
bring that a little closer, because
Yeah.
you're,
So, earlier this afternoon, Kevin Hartford and Jonathan Sindorf came to an agreement on this rear property line. So I think I had submitted previously a plan showing both of those not proposed property lines, but
I'm gonna stop you right there.
yeah, absolutely.
The first thing we need to do is address the waiver.
Yes.
So if you would,
Yeah, so I had requested a waiver
Yeah.
to mapping the full wetlands for the entire site.
Right.
That was back in October, when we had only had Dan Kuhn's map around the first 500 or 600 feet. That was where we had done that bits and were thinking that they would likely develop in the front of the lots. Since then,
there is a letter in the file from Will
yep,
stating these facts in terms of what the waiver request is,
right,
right?
correct. Yep. So, we had requested to waive section 4.611, which requires wetlands buffers to be depicted to the plan for the rear of the lot. Wetlands have been delineated for the first 1,200 feet, so we were requesting that we didn't have to develop wetlands beyond this point, because no proposed development was happening beyond that 1,200-foot mark. Since our initial application, we've had an additional probably 300 or 400 feet of wetlands mapped when we were trying to determine a proposed right-of-way location. So Dan Quinn was able to get out there after that warm spell we had in December and flag some additional areas. So really, this waiver would be to request that I don't have the last 50 feet of property,
You don't have the what?
Last 50 feet.
the last 50 feet delineated for wetlands.
It's
Which,
50 feet.
which based on the search area that I gave Dan in December, you can see it on the last page of this is, okay, yeah. Yeah.
So it goes,
It's not as steep as that, but yes, there's definitely some steep slopes right in that area. It's sloping away from Kings Highway, generally. It's not,
That's a steep slope, too.
right, it kind of has this crown in the middle here. But I mean, these are 2-foot contours too, so it looks a little more, and it being 100 scale also adds to that kind of tightness together. So it does slope away from that center point. And I guess it is a gentle slope toward the road, but it doesn't, when you sit on the road, it certainly doesn't feel that way.
We approve the waiver, disapprove the waiver, make a motion to accept the waiver as requested.
so there's 2 criteria for accepting a waiver. One is that strict conformity would pose a necessary hardship on the applicant, or specific circumstances relative to the site plan. So those are the 2 criteria. I would say that strict conformance would pose an unnecessary hardship, but specific circumstances relative to the plan, and conditions of the land justify the waiver as to either one could apply in this case for accepting the waiver.
So I'll make the motion, we accept the waiver with the explanation that Kate
Provided,
provided.
which was very good, thank you very much.
Doing homework, guys, I want to be good at this.
Okay, is there a second? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second here. Any further discussion? No further discussion? Motion carried, waiver is accepted. We have to send something on that, I think, notice of acceptance or something. I'll have to look that up.
Okay, the next item?
All right, well, back to the application review, and you continue on with what changes you made from the first maps that we had.
Right, so the first map I had showed Jonathan Sindorf owning approximately 33 acres based on current deeds, which is what his most current deed states. Working with Kevin and his attorney, kind of going back and forth with deeds, and based on some parole evidence that Kevin had, we came to an agreement that the property line is going to fall short of that 33 acres. So this is the revised line, which puts Jonathan at just under 25 acres total.
In the center lot, is that what you're talking about?
Correct. Yeah, that would be.
The big lot is 25 acres.
Yes, yeah, the entire lot.
Oh, the entire lot is 20.
Was 25 acres.
And the two lots that you're subdividing are how many acres?
Those are 5.74 and 5.5, and that's their total area.
And that does take into consideration the wetlands on those two there?
Those numbers do not. However, the numbers I have on the plan say that 5.35 acres of this lot is uplands, and then 5.35 acres of that lot is also uplands.
So how much of that wetland, is that taking into consideration the wetland?
Correct.
Oh, okay,
Yep, yeah, yep,
okay.
yep,
So that lot is actually, totally actually bigger,
correct.
but from,
Correct. Both of these lots that we're creating are larger than the 5 acres.
okay, but you have 5 acres taking into consideration the wetlands taken out.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. So, we proceed. Any other questions? Any other comments?
I do have a question. So there's 3 lots there.
Right.
You're gonna end up with 3 lots ultimately, right?
Yeah.
Because this gentleman owns on the other side.
Yeah, right.
Okay. And just one other question. Where is the cemetery?
It's over to the,
That's some areas, yeah,
Okay.
right at the point.
I only ask because like my great-grandparents are buried there.
Are they,
Okay.
are they tough, I mean,
Kimball.
Hey, are they what? Comfortable? Is that what you-
No, it's the resident, I believe it's the Kimball side of the family.
I don't believe they've responded to
No, I was just wondering, I've never been, my son has been up there, I've never been up there, so.
Okay.
somebody should go, if you go there, take pictures.
I feel my son.
It's actually, my understanding is that the son of the person that lives here has been, like, at a Boy Scout project, has been involved there trying to restore it. Yeah.
All right, so I digress, sorry.
All right, we proceed through the checklist. So, a fully executed signed copy of the application, I think you brought that in, Will, or do you have a copy of that, Madam Clerk?
Yes.
Okay,
Check.
check. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. 5 sets of plans?
Yeah.
Check.
Check. 6 24 by 36, I don't know why I
But it's a
don't.
check.
I gotta put a check, we move on, I know.
I know, I'm sorry, I just want to keep things moving.
I know you,
Oh,
do. Name and address, signature
know.
on, and applicant. Yes.
yes.
On. It's on here.
It's stamped, actually, Will, you stamped it, right?
Yes. What, the plans?
Yeah.
Yeah, the plans are stamped, I just haven't signed yet. I'll sign
And
it.
it's certified by, I can't read the writing, that's okay.
Then it's
Jonathan, I can read your writing, so it's signed, so that's good. I don't know who signed this to the abutters. Is that you? It's a squiggle.
That might be me.
well,
That's Will, okay, check.
My father gave me a hard time.
That's okay. Name and address and signature of owner on the record is different from the applicant? No. Yeah, check. Name and address of the person or firm preparing the plans? Check. Name and address of all abutting property owners? That is there, check. North arrow on the plan. Hertel has a problem with that sometimes.
It was on there.
right there.
Okay, that's good, check.
We're not talking about Hertel.
I know that, I'm just,
Hertel did put it on.
he did put it on. Plan to scale is so noted, yes it is. Date prepared correctly, right?
Yeah, it's right
The prints, it's a date prepared on those prints.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, that's good, check. Locus map showing, yes, that's on there too. Everybody know what a locus designation is?
Don't they come every 7 years?
It shows in relation to, let's say, the town, where the property sits. So you have a feel of where it is, instead of just looking at the lot.
You are here.
Okay, check. Property and boundary lines inclusive of distance and, angles plotted to scale. Check.
A little hard to see on that one.
That's okay. Areas of proposed lots in square feet of acres. There's no proposed lots on there. I mean, yes, they are. Yes, they are in acres, and you showed us the acre line, so that's a check. Delineation of all wetlands and wetland buffers. Check. Okay, we got a few more things to go here. Delineation of slopes. Check. 25% greater. Location of any buildings within 50 feet of the subject site. The grave site, is that? Oh, yeah, okay, check, right?
Yep.
Location of all roadways, driveways within 200 feet of the subject site, yes. Existing existing access roads, recreational trails, boundaries such as stone walls, barbed wire, et cetera. Yes, check. Existing,
I don't have that trail shown on the flat plan, only because it kind of clouds up how that proposed right-of-way looks, and the setbacks, it's kind of hard to pick. They're all different dash lines, so once they all overlap.
Confused me.
It looks pretty confusing, so I left it on this plan, because this is more the existing features, so it can confuse.
check.
Yeah.
Existing proposed building and driveways on site. Yes, okay. Current zoning classification of the property and location of district boundaries if located in 2 or more zones. You're not in 2 or more zones. Check. Location of all building setbacks as required by the zoning ordinance. There's no buildings on it, right?
No, the setbacks are shown.
Yeah, okay. On-site flow of traffic. You don't have any traffic there yet.
Is there gonna be an issue with the driveway on that one lot there and on the corner?
200-foot front, right?
I was gonna say, it's no different than John Jones Road that's right there on that corner, which is pretty,
Is there gonna be a problem with right away and moving from parcel to parcel?
It's all on one parcel now.
It's gonna be all in the
Okay, I'm just asking.
Yep, no,
Why don't we?
we're right on that.
He was willing to make that concession, we very appreciate it.
Okay.
Just be easier.
We want to take care of the problem and not have to worry about it ever again.
Okay, all existing proposed services such as sewer, water, and utilities, nothing there.
I showed 3 proposed well radiuses on the lots, as well as the 3 4K areas.
A note defining the purpose of the plan, you
Yeah.
have that on there, check. We're getting there. Brief history of the property, including other disturbances that have happened on the property.
I think I covered that in my narrative.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, I said the land is vacant, I didn't say it was wooded.
Yep, all right. General description of existing characteristics such as farmland, meadow, forest, I think, yep, you did that. Summary and description of drainage upstream onto the property.
So I don't know how much Dan's wetland report covers as far as what the drainage is doing. I know he mentioned something about these wetlands sheeting off property to the east. I also noted a 24-inch reinforced concrete pipe that's flowing through this corner that's kind of creating this pocket of wetlands down here near the ways. So, and that goes off-site.
Did you do you didn't do a wetland study, right, no?
Whatever Dan Coombs did, so he did,
He wrote a few notes.
yeah, there's a handful of things
Yeah,
right there.
it's sufficient.
Okay. Flood hazard, information, I don't think you're in a flood hazard
No,
zone.
not in floodplain.
No. Note any reference of delineation on the plan or all easements, right-of-way, deeded property instructions. Is the right-of-way delineated on it?
The right-of-way is delineated, I haven't done any legal description for it, but we're working on that.
Okay, so,
But it's shown on both these plans.
we're getting enough,
that would be what?
we're getting enough.
Yeah, update. Okay. Alteration of term, no. That's not, I'm going, these things aren't, these are not required. I'm going down these things that are saying NA, and I'm asking a question, it doesn't matter. Okay, all parcels will be numbered, yes?
Yep, and I confirmed that with assessment, that that's how they want those numbers.
Yep. Planning board approval block for space for chair to sign, yes. Seal, your seal is on there, right? Yep, of course it is. Approval of waivers, yes, we have done that. All right, everything is complete. I hear a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the Sindorf subdivision plan with the
Exception of
exception of the update for.
right away.
the right of way.
I'll
But you
second.
still need to keep
So
that.
it's conditional approval?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Were you
second.
gonna put the right, what were you gonna do about the right of
Well, the
way?
right of way is shown on.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, so
It's not shown on the other one? Look,
right, well, this is what will get recorded with the registry of deeds.
So it's complete.
oh yeah, so
Yeah,
then,
so I.
Okay,
I
so
showed-
that's-
I just don't have any variance distances in line, because that'll be dealt with in a deed.
Okay.
okay.
So that's,
So I'll pull back my motion and say, make the motion to accept the application as
as
presented.
complete.
I'll second it.
So you're good with this thing? I mean, obviously you're not saying.
Yeah, fine.
Any,
Yes, we've worked it all out, and I think it comes to
Good,
give and take. I think it's good for both of us.
good.
well, thank you for doing it.
Best path forward, you know what I mean?
Okay.
We could be stuck for a long time, and that isn't good for anyone.
No.
So,
Thank you for both of you doing that,
Yes.
because that makes it easier on us.
Right, yes, it does.
Appreciate the neighborly.
Yeah, no, I say,
While you're protecting each other, that's
Yeah,
most
no, I
important.
say-
Okay. So,
So the motion.
the motion is to accept the plan and,
I seconded.
any discussion?
Yes, I have a question. We had
Wait a
a,
minute, did somebody second it?
I seconded.
well, the question I had is, we had a prior family discussion about the property. Have you guys resolved that too?
there's nothing really to resolve, because there's no legal standing for them. My sister, she abuts part by our house, and she has an issue with something there, but nothing was ever legally done when my father was alive. There's nothing there. Anyone can sue anyone, but they ever actually, we have ownership, their ownership of the property via the trust my parents had. It's
No,
what
that's,
it is.
yeah, that's between you and the other part.
I'm just wondering if
Yeah,
it doesn't affect the application, but I'm
No.
just wondering.
Okay, there's no further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. John?
Yes, I think.
Any opposed? I guess there is not. So the application is accepted. Now, we can have a hearing. I convene the hearing at
8:07?
8:07, is that right?
Yeah.
On the Sindorf subdivision plan. Any questions, comments? Yes, ma'am?
I would just like to read a 2-minute statement. I'm distancing because I've been sick. I don't have a fever. I've been 2 days without a fever. But that's why I'm alone here tonight. I'm seriously sick.
If, does this have to do with the application per se in the division, or?
It's just making a statement about the situation that,
We're not here to make that decision between your
no, I
decision.
know that. I just want for the public record to speak out against it if I may.
Is the board okay with that?
I did time it, it's 2 minutes.
I'm willing to accept the written statement, but
You'd rather I can take the 2 minutes to do it verbally?
I mean, if we accept the written statement, it's.
It's the same.
That's the same.
You put in the record accepting a written statement.
Okay, and I think that everyone who is here has already heard basically, well, they heard a lot more than the already for 2 minutes. And you, of course, didn't hear, but you probably have read it in the minutes from October, so you're aware of it.
Yep.
And so basically, my last, Jonathan hasn't communicated with us at all, my brother or I, as John, is it John asked, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm John Quinn, yes, ma'am.
Yes. And we did ask that he would withdraw the application so that we would have time to vote. We simply had no
So,
And I know there's nothing you can do, you know, I know that you're very limited in your options, but we felt it was important for us to still speak out on the public record.
Which is,
opposed to this.
which is why we'll accept it and put it
Right.
with the minutes, the written
Yes,
statement.
okay.
Yep.
Fine with that, and I'm just gonna call my husband and come and get me, because we're trying to get well, but.
all right,
Wow.
if you would give that,
She's gonna come.
okay, very good, all right.
I brought one for each of you if that was.
Well, we'll review the file, so, thank you very much. Okay. Any other comments, questions? Yes,
I hope that the board approves his subdivision. I say, he wants to subdivide it and for his kid and stuff. He's more than happy to work with everything else, which was huge. And, like I say, I hope it can go forward.
okay. Any other questions? Okay, I hereby close the hearing at 8:10.
10.
All right. Is there any discussion, any motion to accept or to approve the subdivision?
I'll make a motion.
So we are-
No, 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 no.
Accepted the application.
Have you accepted?
Okay. So
I'll make a motion to accept the subdivision
Yeah, approve.
or approve the subdivision.
Yes.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Subdivision approved. Okay, finally.
Thanks for your patience with us. I was trying to hold back to work things up between the two of
That's-
us, but I know it was an imperfect process. We all did our best.
Well, glad it worked out.
Glad it worked out.
All right,
Thanks for sticking around so long.
okay. We've got other business to handle here. Minutes.
Anything I didn't think was
I
really.
don't think we need public comment, I can skip that. Skip it, okay.
Yeah, no.
Minutes of December 12th. Has everybody had a chance to look at those? Any comments or,
I got them from her by an email.
we also, do we have the minutes of the 19th in there too? The 19th was, what was that for? Oh, yeah, the workshop. Yeah, the workshop.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from December 12th, 2024 and December 19th, 2024 as written.
I'll second.
Any discussion or changes on that? I lost a pen. Thank you.
Sure.
You got another one? You do.
No, I don't need another one. You're the
Okay.
one that's good.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, very good. Communication. Couple things on communication. It's really a statement, I guess. Because of our amendments that we do, there's a certain timeline, we have to do certain things.
Yeah.
So I have called for we have posted, we have to post notice on the amendments that we decided the other day,
Yeah.
a hearing.
Yeah.
And those minutes are, that posting has gone out and is posted for the 16th, next week,
Yeah. Okay.
at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And I will have those proposals in a written form as we will be showing to the public. In other words, we want to make sure we show at the hearing what the amendments are going to be.
Yeah.
So if you remember those amendments that we went through, he had, okay, this is how you propose it and so forth and so on. So that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
So hopefully,
Yep.
not hopefully, I will have those done by Monday.
Perfect.
Because I've got about 20 of them, I gotta write up the minutes and all that kind of stuff, so those will be done.
Right.
Yeah.
Then if in the hearing,
Yeah.
situations come up where, there's discussion about changing something, okay, if we change those, then we have to have another hearing.
Right.
So we would have to post that second hearing,
Right.
by that Thursday, I think.
Okay.
By that Thursday the 16th or by
Yeah.
that?
Yeah,
So-
or by Friday, I can't remember what it is, but we will get, we will, if,
You'll post it just in.
we'll
case.
post it just in case,
Okay. Perfect.
for,
Would that be like the week later, the 23rd.
Yeah.
We can always cancel the hearing, it's
Right,
probably,
we can just
probably
say,
prudent.
based off of what happens on the 16th, we'll determine
Yeah.
whether we have to. have
So if
another
nobody makes
meeting
any,
to have
if
it.
nobody, if we decide not to make any changes that we made,
Yeah.
then we can cancel the hearing.
Okay,
So-
so I'm gonna post it now.
So, yeah, so last day to post a public notice for the final hearing is January 23rd.
Oh, that's,
And I think that's a Monday,
January 23rd is a Thursday.
yeah. And then that hearing has to be held no later than February 3rd. So we'll call
I
it,
think we should post for the 23rd. Let's post our meeting for the 23rd.
that's fine,
And then,
good, because I don't need to go into any more meetings.
right, no, but I'm just saying, but, because, I mean, if we have any updates, we'll have to make them and
Then vote on them, and
vote
then,
on the 23rd, so let's just do the 23rd. And it still gives us another week for some reason if we. fall short.
yes, okay, so,
So are we
but we
having,
have to post, we still have to post, a hearing. We'd have to post a hearing, somewhere between, a hearing on the 25th and a hearing on the 20th. I don't know.
January or February?
For what?
what,
It
what?
says here, so the last day to post the public for a final hearing, that's when you have to post it.
That's your last day. That's
The last day when you can post, you have to post it.
Right, correct.
So you can hold a hearing anytime you want to.
Right, so this is the
This
last.
is the last day you can hold it, last hearing.
Last day you can.
Oh, I
hold
see what
it
you're
is
saying.
fine,
Oh,
is
okay.
February 3rd.
So we could post it for the 23rd.
Yes.
And hold it the same day, because we'd be well within this time.
No, we're gonna post it before, because you have to post 7 days or 10 days.
Yeah,
So
that's a,
Monday, I'm gonna post a meeting.
Right, for the 23rd. We're hoping we don't need that, but we have
no,
it.
we don't need this one, yeah.
No, we don't need that, correct.
There's another whole week between,
Yeah,
that's
Right.
what you're saying,
We-
or 2 weeks.
This is the drop dead date right
That's
here.
the drop
Third is
dead.
The third is the drop.
So-
Third is the drop.
We're gonna have a meeting on the 16th and and potentially
on
the.
the 23rd, and we shouldn't have any more,
Okay.
right?
Yes,
John?
that's correct. You got it.
And then what time will be
6 o'clock.
6,
6 PM,
for
Okay.
both of them?
Yep.
yeah.
6
Okay.
Okay, in that vein, it's gonna be up to you guys,
Yeah.
but holding a meeting at 6:30 is brutal. Is 6 late enough? John, when do you get out of work?
When can you be?
When can you be?
Actually, that's what it's
I
asking.
can be here at any time,
So 6, do you prefer to
but
have meetings
I
at
don't,
6?
I don't have a set schedule, I just asked.
You want to be here, John,
You have the one
at
I don't
all.
want to be here at all.
We are, in some of the other committees that I'm on, we're changing meetings from 6:30 to 5,
Oh.
but 6,
Well, no, I mean, I probably could do most of the time 5:30. I only just say that, I only say that because I work for a company
Yes.
that's in the central time zone, so. it's like
6
4:30.
o'clock, 6 o'clock is great. That's,
Okay,
that's,
6 is good.
because we could be out of here depending on what it is by 7 instead of
I do
8:30.
try and keep the meeting moving along.
Yes,
and
I
I
am.
don't mean to be mean about that, but
Yes, okay, so I have things. Budget review. I had a question.
He digresses.
well, we all do.
No, I'm sorry, I'm
No, we
trying
all
to get it
do.
all in and
We all do.
try to cover everything as fast as I can.
No.
Okay, I requested a budget review,
Yeah.
and I got it from, that's not it, that's not it, that's not it. That's not it. Oh,
That's what we spent this year. Yeah,
24, okay. Look at that number right there.
yeah, that's wrong.
Oh, I already
No,
talked to
no, I sat there and we moved it. It went to ZBA.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Okay.
we have not had any money out of the plan. Don't worry, I look at those, I look at the details.
I saw that, I said, oh.
Oh, I knew exactly when I saw it.
Okay, so we're good.
It's ZBA.
Everybody knows, this is the budget, and it showed us having a remaining amount in the legal budget of $201. And that is not correct. We've only spent 201 so far.
It's all ZBA.
And we'll get a bill from Stratford Regional Planning for 2,700.
And you're gonna
Leaves
pay
us
out of
more
all-
money to do from the attorney. I'm sure
So
they'll,
we're,
we're moving along. Budget review. Member comments. Any member comments?
no, I will make this just one comment. I was happy to see that Hertel and David Presley worked out their issue.
Yes.
And I was happy to see the gentleman in Johnson did worked out their issue. It's unfortunate with the system, but that's
That's a whole separate,
But I'm glad that those things, because those are things I was not looking forward to tonight.
yeah.
No.
Did she just give you one copy of the statement? She had a bunch.
Yeah, she gave me one.
You don't want one she has.
No, I know I didn't.
She said-
I probably should have not
I-
let
I
her
wanted
make,
to-
probably should have not let her make a statement on that one meeting, but I did.
No,
let
I
her.
think you were here, I think we were here.
I just want
But
to
I'm
read
like,
it.
I
See-
don't
I'll
mind
see
you
it in the
giving it,
minutes.
but I mean, it's
Oh,
just one
we don't
thing
need it.
I'm not here.
Yeah.
You know,
We've already
she
heard.
is a member of the public, she did submit a statement. It's-
Yes, you can do.
Yeah, right, okay.
Okay, and I don't have building permits. You didn't get the
Yes,
building.
they're in here.
Oh, look, Jesus, I didn't even look at the pack.
Yeah, they're in here.
Any,
Is that part's in my email too, right? I read through some of,
any comments on the building?
yeah, okay.
I
Yeah,
do
but-
have,
I printed that this afternoon, but it is going on the website.
I do have a, so what it looks like we had 3 building permits. Everything else is either a demolition permit, a shoreline,
Yes.
or whatever.
Yes.
So I do,
Now, is that from January 1st to now?
no,
Or is that-
12/1 to 12/1.
I'm doing it by
December.
month.
3, 4, maybe, do you think that's, no, 3 building permits for December. I guess really what I want to make sure is, the one that's on Lake Shore Drive,
No, Pinkham, you talking about Pinkham?
no.
The one-
Building permit, I'm looking at the one say building permit.
What address of Lake Shore?
It's 100, it's the guy who, I believe.
He
it's
leveled it.
Cleary's.
Yeah.
Right, but building, I want to make sure he meets all the setbacks, so,
When he puts it back up.
right, that's what I'm saying, so.
Well, you can't change his footprint.
Well, Linda will let you know.
Well, no, hopefully she will, because Carl.
Because Natasha-
checked it. No, well, I mean, I don't mean to be.
Yeah,
but
that's
I'm
okay, you can do
specifically
that.
looking at- I'm looking at the Lake District specifically because you are so limited. These other places that have 5 acres, I'm pretty sure that we're not gonna have a
Not
problem.
limited, we're cozy.
So I guess I have this question and I've been thinking about. So, I know
All right, wait a
that,
minute.
okay.
So are we good with the bill? I'm good.
I
with-
haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
Grateful for it, actually, thank you.
so-
Yes, I do like
And I
that.
do
Also,
Thank you.
the town maps are on the website. I saw that today, 2024. Wonderful.
The tax map.
You wanna wait? Maybe.
No.
I do have one question.
Wait a minute, it's a public meeting.
Well, no, but it depends on what the comments are.
You were talking about the zoning ordinance. What about the driveway regulation?
Oh,
Where are we?
that's
with
on,
that?
that's on my list.
Yeah, so we're
We're
down
not
to
there yet?
reports
We're
from
not,
members.
we're not there, we're moving down.
I don't have a report, other than, like I said, that was member comments. What's reports from members?
There's no,
Okay.
no weekend. Building permit review, we did that, boom, boom, boom. Okay, report from member, there's nothing. New business, I don't have any new business.
We don't have anything, right, Robin? No, nothing's, thank you.
Review rules of procedure, don't worry about that. I made the amendment that we made last month about adding a review every 5 months. I'll have that published for you shortly. Continue the zoning ordinance review. I talked about that I will have those in a presentable and final form so that the public can look at those before the hearing and we'll have them at the hearing.
Perfect.
Does that
Okay?
include a summary or?
The way he, just like he wrote those, some of those he wrote the way you would present them. Summary of
Take a look and see if.
Yeah, I,
No, I get what you're saying.
I want to make it digestible.
Right,
Yeah,
we'll
that's
take
okay.
a look. I don't,
Okay, home enterprise registration form, don't forget about that. Okay, next item on the agenda,
it's the drive.
was the driveway aprons for new construction on paved road. We have the authority to change that on our site regs, on the driveway regulations, and what is requested by the road agent is the following, and this has to do with driveway aprons, and wherever that fits into the driveway regs, the following. A 10-foot deep paved apron is required, the width of the proposed driveway, 3-foot radius flares to connect to existing roadway constructed of a suitable subgrade, free of any organics, placed on an 18-inch, 6-inch,
Minus bank run.
bank run gravel and 6-inch of crushed gravel.
It's a type of gravel. Who knew?
Who
I only
knew?
know this stuff because when Jim hauled dirt, but it's like how many different kinds of dirt there are.
Oh, an 18-inch
Stone.
and 6-inch minus bank run, okay, gravel. Driveway apron will be maintained by the homeowners at the homeowner's expense and he will be imposed an impact fee if you, oh, I'm sorry.
So is this for review and we can vote on this?
Yes,
on the
right
next
tonight.
meeting? Huh?
We can review it, or we can vote on it tonight.
Oh, are you good with this, Kate?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not, it's totally Dan's, and I got
No,
it.
no, but are you good with what they?
Oh, yeah, because I want
Final
Dan, I
inspection.
want Dan to be happy, and I want this impact,
All right, so then we.
because of all of the subdivisions we have.
Okay, final inspection will be required by the road agent as designated before the pavement.
Don't be such a.
Who decides where it goes in the regulations?
I don't know where it goes.
Okay, it is in there, but it's not what he wants, so.
Oh.
All right, so
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
To approve as transcribed, and I'll provide you with
And
the
who wrote that up?
Dan.
Dan did.
And to put it into the
The
site.
driveway regulations,
Okay.
and we just need,
Well,
we have to have a hearing on it.
Yeah.
all right. Couldn't we do it the same time we do next week?
Yes,
Then do it.
because that's a regular meeting.
Or you can spill it over.
That's a regular meeting, even though it's a hearing, it's a regular meeting,
We're not spilling over.
not just a hearing here. So,
Hold on, it's a hearing.
But
we have to have a hearing before we,
Exactly.
But you can have a meeting, you can have a public hearing within your meeting.
No, I know that. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Right.
I want to make sure.
if
too
it's a proposed
seem to-
proposal,
Mind meld.
delete the vote.
Just don't put it in there.
Don't put it, delete the vote.
Because we have to have a hearing before.
We have to have a
So
hearing
this
on,
wasn't posted as a hearing for the driveway regulation?
along with the amendments. There'll be a hearing on zoning amendments, and then a hearing on driveway regulations.
So do we have to change the posting that we already have?
Yes, please, yes,
You have to add it.
You have to update it.
sorry,
And then this won't require a town vote.
Nope.
It'll just be the law.
double
And
check
that'll be
that.
nice.
Yes.
And do you, I don't know who's going to decide where it goes, but,
Well, yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I know it seems minor, but that's.
no, it's
a big
important.
deal.
Yeah, it's not-
Let me see where,
And how to get it in there.
Where is it now?
there isn't one.
Well, because, hey, actually,
Insert and delete.
Article 5 mentions.
Okay, it should be number 5, so I'm assuming that he is replacing, we're gonna replace number
Well, you
5.
gotta do the same thing, gotta reformat it into a Word document and then play with it, yeah. I mean,
You've not taken my driveway. You must have your own driveway regulation, don't you?
Don't take Kate's paper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't take Kate's paper.
Good God,
Good Lord.
I wouldn't sleep tonight.
Okay, so on the driveway regs,
So it's gonna replace, Article 5 or
in
whatever.
total.
Yeah, I think it should replace it. Article 5 doesn't do him any good. It just says heavy vehicles,
And it
if
says
you're
may.
using,
It
you
says
know.
may,
It doesn't
may.
say if it's on pay, and you wouldn't put one on a dirt
He doesn't
road,
want
so-
May. He doesn't want May. Okay. I hear a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 8:27.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Thank you. Thank you.